We're back with Strictly Auburn. It's been a little bit, but Auburn basketball moves to 8-0 to start their basketball season. They beat Colgate today, 93-66. Eli, I know you were there covering the game. How was that?
Dude, it was great. I mean, I can't say this enough. AU Jungle brought the energy, as they always do, and I think this team thrived off it. Katie Johnson, thrives off of it. Dylan Caldwell, but overall, I think it was a really good game.
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of jealous you were there. I was watching from my apartment, but it sounded loud. It sounded like the jungle was jumping, going, ready to go.
Oh yeah.
Which, I mean, Friday night game going into finals week.
Hey, we need some.
Doesn't get better.
Yeah.
Yeah, we need some energy going into finals.
Right.
And
I know. I did.
We basically have like a week before our next game, so it's kind of nice. But tonight, probably the best game we've seen this Auburn team play in their first 8 games. We know that the offense has struggled a little bit to start this season, but tonight they did a complete 180, set a season high of 10 threes, which we haven't seen that since the SEC finale last year in South Carolina. So that was fun to watch. What'd you see from this offense that looked different tonight versus the past few games?
Well, I mean, it was pretty obvious. The way we shot the ball from the three was amazing, even from the field from the field. I mean, we did amazing. We had 4 people go double-digit points, and I think our offense just really sparked our defense too as well. And we played complementary basketball, like we mentioned in football, complementary football. But we did it in basketball. I mean, defense on the other side of the court, offense on the other side of the court. They just had a really good game. Katie Johnson, man, he shot lights out. 16 points. I mean, he had a great game.
I mean,
he kind of reminds me of last season, Katie. He really sparked it up again. So I'm excited to see that from him.
He is 100% our player of the game at Strictly Auburn, so that's always fun to watch. KD Johnson, if you're watching, player of the game, win it.
Yes,
let's go. But 16 points, always a good performance. I was really nervous going into halftime actually because I mean that was right. I think that was right in front of you. He slammed his head on the ground. And for those that didn't watch, slammed his head on the ground going up for a layup with no time on the clock.
Should have been a foul.
And
I don't know how they didn't call that a foul.
We actually have breaking news, like right now. Deion Sanders preparing to accept the Colorado coaching job after the SWAC title game. So that's not Auburn basketball, but big college football news. Just wanted to get that out there. We just broke news on Strictly Auburn. That's pretty cool.
Sweet.
Anyways, we got KD Johnson down on the ground. Looked like he was going to go out with a concussion or something. But, he came back in the game in the second half and just kind of kept playing. And I kind of like Bruce Pearl's quote post-game. He said he kind of got his bell rung, but his bell's always rung, so he couldn't tell a difference.
You're right. I mean, I literally happened right in front of me. I was on the floor, and the sound it made, I was like, oh my gosh. Like, I thought he was knocked out cold when he hit his head. And he was laying there, he was groaning, and he came out half, was fine. I mean, and then he just kept performing like he was in the first half. So, I mean, I guess he's all right. So, but it's good to see guys like
he's got that dog in him.
He's got that dog. But no, I'm glad to see him really start to spark up this offense, and I think if it wasn't for him, we'd still have that kind of drought. But he really got us on fire with the step back threes and
he started the game 4 for 4 from 3. I mean 4 for 4 from 3. Sorry, he ended missed one at the end. We were up by 20 points, so it's whatever. He shot 5 for 9 from the floor and 2 for 2 from the line. So just an impressive all-around night from KD Johnson. Another guy who I know we were texting about him, Wendell Green. Wendell Green's a guy who, in my eyes, has really taken the next step in maturing from what we saw a season ago. Last year, he was a guy who, I mean, you remember, would throw up three-point shots and just make ill-advised passes and wouldn't really control the basketball as well as we know he can. But this year, he seems like a different player. He's
100%.
He's a real floor general He takes the shots he knows that he can make, and at the same time, he still puts up those crazy half-court shots when he's really feeling it. And, I mean, right before halftime, kind of earning that Logo Wen nickname, hitting that crazy step-back, turnaround, whatever you want to call it, that crazy three-point shot.
I mean, he just looks a lot more efficient to me, and he looks more poised when he's dribbling basketball and taking his shots. I think during this offseason, he really focused on, his leadership and how to take control of the game. So I think if he just keeps doing the way that he's doing and carries on into SEC play, I mean, next game against Memphis, right?
Pretty sure it's in Memphis. So we play Memphis next Saturday in Atlanta in that Holiday Hoops giving game.
Yeah, so I mean, going into the SEC conference play, I think all of these guys would just have to keep, the amount of basketball they're playing great, so they got to keep the steam, keep it going to the SEC conference. Another guy I wanted to point out, Alan Flanagan, man. I mean, he is same thing as Wendell Green. I mean, he's completely involved into a different guy from last year, completely changed. I mean, he reminds me
last year he was riddled with injury, right. So he came in as a freshman, played really, really well, missed a large chunk of last year with an Achilles injury, and then when he came back at the end of the year, he just wasn't himself, and we could tell. And this year, I mean, like you're saying, he's a new guy.
Right. He's making a huge impact as well. Oh, I mean, all these guys played great, Jake, to be honest. I mean, we could name the whole roster, and I mean, they all played pretty well, to be honest. So,
the last guy I wanted to kind of shout out in this game, Janai Broom. Janai Broom, I mean, I can't say enough about him. He needs a big game. It kind of feels like he's getting there. We saw it in the first couple of games where he was that guy, the facilitator on offense. I want to see a little bit more of that. He's going to lead this Auburn Tigers team in shots taken almost every single game. So he has that chance to be the super dominant player we know he can be. He took 13 shots, only made 6, still put up 13 points, a bunch of them on the fast break, but still has 9 boards, which is crazy, in a pair of blocks. So he's going to be a stat machine this year, and I know with time those buckets will fall. So that point total is only going up. Did you see anything from him that gave you some hope going into conference play in a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned the fast break points he had. I mean, he was making plays like a guard out there with stealing the ball and taking it down the court and hitting a little jam. But I think that's what's promising for me is the way he's so active on defense with his hands and his blocks. And he had 9 rebounds this game. That's another good positive thing to look out for him. And I like how he took that 3-point shot. It hit the rim.
That place would have went berserk if he hit it.
But I think the more he builds confidence under the goal, I think you'll see more shots start to fall for him. And I think he's just getting accumulated to how SEC play is, and the level of play at Auburn's higher. The talent level is higher. So we'll start to see him start breaking out 20, 25-point games, I think. So
I really hope so. Right? Yeah, that'd be amazing. And then the underrated guys who I feel like need to be shouted out every single game. Zep Jasper, never going to put up the point totals that like the double-digit points every single game, but he's a guy who's going to show out on the defensive end like every day. And then Dylan Cardwell, the heart and soul, in the last 2 minutes of the game, hit a hook shot with his right hand, went down, got a block on the defensive end, and then a dunk back on the offensive end. So an incredible individual stretch for Dylan, the heart and soul, and then he blew kisses to the jungle. He's the heart and soul of this team.
100%. I love Dylan Cardwell, and he's such a team player. And I know, I've had a couple of words with him. He's so nice. I mean, he's probably the most liked guy on campus, for real. Most liked guy.
I'd have to agree with that. He is Jumbotron, man. He is that guy. Hopefully, someday he's a guest on our show. Maybe he's listening. But hopefully y'all are still tuning in, excited for our content. We love putting it out for y'all. Make sure you like, subscribe, and drop a comment. Let us know. SEC play doesn't start until December 28th when Auburn takes on Florida.
Right.
Let us know what you think Auburn's record is heading into that game. I think we got 3 or 4 more games. So let us know in the comments what y'all think. But War Eagle.
War Eagle.